What's up, everybody? It says we're live. Let me know in the chat if you can hear us and you can see us okay. We were having some audio issues when we were testing a few minutes ago, so let us know if you can hear all of our audio.
Which means we should all test our audio and say something.
Probably a good idea.
Are we live? I'm not seeing anyone in the chat replying at all. Did it work?
No, I don't think it worked. I think it's broken.
Okay. Well, we can schedule it for another time, I guess.
Okay, here we go. Sounds
great.
We
hear you.
I don't see anyone complaining about sound or video, so I think we're good to go.
How about sound for Kirsten and Tronic's wife?
Yo, how's everybody doing?
Hi guys, welcome to our live stream.
And it looks like, I don't know about you guys, but I look like $1 million today. It looks like.
You're good. Sounds good. All right. It's not hard to look good when you sit next to me. Comparison. Yeah,
that's true. I totally forgot about that. All right, what's up, everybody? So we're gonna start out this live stream. I'm just gonna talk for a bit here, and then we're gonna take some questions, comments. You can enter them into the chat, and Jessica and Kirsten are going to be collecting those. We will answer paid questions and questions from YouTube community members. So ask those, ask away, and we'll be doing questions and answers for 15 to 30 minutes or so. And then we'll do a few other things and then do some more questions at the end. So feel free to ask away. And we'll also be looking through the chat and take some other questions as well. But I do want to start out first by talking a little bit about my health, because I know there's lots of people interested in that and curious about that. So essentially, I'm doing great right now. And Robert can attest to that, right?
Oh, yeah. I can give a witness for sure. Yeah. You're doing great. You are, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Doing a lot better. It's been like 6 months of nothing but whining, and we're coming out the other end of that. So
that's me.
Yeah.
Whining and complaining all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, and for anybody that doesn't know, I am in full remission from, also, if anyone doesn't know, I had cancer and I'm in full remission. So I do want to say thank you so much to all of you who have left great comments and even questions as well, people asking about it. So I very much appreciate all of you for that. So thank you. And I'm doing very well. I feel pretty close to 100%. So yeah,
you seem like it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I meant that in a good way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hope it lasts.
Yep. Hope it lasts.
All right. So,
all right.
What's the next thing?
We're going to answer some comments, some questions and comments.
Questions from the comments people are putting in right now.
Yeah. We're going to do some from people putting in right now. So ask your questions right now, and Jessica and Kirsten are collecting those. And if we have some right now, Jessica, Tronic's wife, is going to read some out to us.
Oh, I had one all ready to go, and then it just refreshed. Give me a second. Where was it? Oh, right here. We're good. All right. First question. Steve, did you manage to snag a 30th anniversary PS5?
I was sort of trying, but I didn't actually realize that they were doing pre-orders when they were. So I think I logged in I don't know, half an hour or an hour after they started. So obviously I didn't get one. I think probably about 12 people actually were able to get one. But no, I wasn't able to get one. And I actually don't like pre-orders anymore, because it seems like all of the bots and, resellers are just in there grabbing everything real quick. And then they release that on eBay for like $5,000 the same day. So I didn't get one, and I'm a little salty about it, even though I knew I wouldn't. I'm just salty about pre-orders in general, I think. Rob, did you try and get one?
I didn't.
Why? You don't like them?
I don't know if I would say that. I just didn't.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I
figured you were going to get one.
Yeah,
I mean, play yours.
I sort of tried, but not as hard as I should have, apparently. I can say that I did get the 30th anniversary controller, though, which is less cool, but it still should be sort of cool at least. Cool. So, yeah.
Are you going to have me break it so you can fix it?
That's a good idea. Well, yeah, I need you to break it, and then I'll go rub it around in the mud. So then you can clean it, and then I'll fix it. We just get a video
like
out of
we
it.
do on all our videos.
Yeah. You're not. That's
Yeah.
that's not.
Oh,
not for
okay,
this.
okay.
All right. What's next?
All right. Another PS5 question. When are we going to see PS5 Pro teardown on the TronicsFix channel?
Yeah, I'm gonna get. I have one on pre-order. It's supposed to be here, supposedly on launch day, depending on whether they actually get it here or not. I don't know, but I'm gonna be doing it as soon as possible after I get it. So I don't know when we'll actually get the video out because I have to film it and then I have to edit it, and maybe we can convince Robert to edit it for me, so it'll be out like the next day.
Yeah, because I'm really fast at editing.
Surprise. Anyway, so the point is I'm going to get a teardown out as soon as possible after I get it, but it will take a little bit of time. So what do we got next?
All right. When are you doing a video with Jessica, aka Tronic's wife? She's amazing. Thank you.
Who's choosing these questions? that we're gonna
Weird. That's
answer?
weird. You choose that.
Yeah.
Chose that question.
It was just the next one.
Yeah, the next one. So as soon as we have a great video idea and Tronic's wife has time, when's that going to be, Tronic's wife?
I mean, I feel like getting whatever the item is first is the most important thing. And then we can talk scheduling.
That is true. So everybody put in the chat what do you guys want to see Tronic's wife fix? 10 seconds to answer. Let's see it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, a PS5, a Nintendo Wii. What up from New Zealand, brother? What's up? PS5. I see a bunch. Oh, there's an Xbox.
What about one of those like powered toothbrushes?
Yeah, I should make her fix her own toothbrush so that I keep using in my videos. Nintendo Switch. She actually fixed a Nintendo Switch, and if you don't know that, you haven't been paying attention to our videos very much. Okay, we got some. It looks like the consensus is a PS5. How do you feel about that, Jessica?
As long as I don't have to remove those 42 totally necessary screws, then I don't know. I'd be up for that.
All right, that sounds good. So there we go. We got to find a PS5.
I've got dibs on the ones with cockroaches in them.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want those. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready for more questions. Also, make sure and ask Kirsten, Tronic's wife, and Restorish Rob questions as well. This isn't just Q&A with Steve. We got the whole team here, and my voice gets tired too. So I don't like listening to myself talk the whole time. So, all right.
All right. So this one says for Steve, but we're actually going to throw it over to Robert first. What is your absolute least favorite electronic to disassemble and clean?
Least favorite electronic. I could have just like in video games, that would have been more limited, but electronics, it opens it up to anything made by Apple recently, which I don't do a lot of because of how difficult and unfriendly they are to get into. So there's that. For consoles, I don't remember. I answered this question some other time and I had a good answer, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
It's Sunday, man.
Yeah.
You need to get your workout on here.
I think probably like a DS or something with that extra screen where you have to roll up that ribbon cable to get it inside of that thing. I don't like doing those things.
3DS or new 3DS, 3DS XL. Yeah. Those can be a pain. Yeah. There's something I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll just not say it. So my least favorite. Oh, I was going to say the brand new iPhone 16s. I don't know if you know this or not, but they actually have the adhesive is like, it's some sort of electro adhesive where you apply a voltage to it and it sort of lets go. So then you can pull the battery out a lot easier.
Nice.
Yeah. So Maybe
Okay.
Apple won't be your least
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, okay, so my least favorite, I can't say that I have a least favorite, but there is one thing I can think of that I still have in my studio that I took apart and I was like, there's no way I'm getting this back together. I'm done. And it is it's like a really old like tape player. And like there's just so many little components in there and like belts and just all sorts of stuff. And granted, I haven't really done very many repairs on those, but I was just like, nope, I give up. There's not a lot of things that I'll just give up on and not even try to put back together, but that was one of them. So, okay, I'm done with that question. Kirsten and Jessica, do you want to answer that or? No.
I can't think of anything.
No. All right, what do we have next?
All right, next. I have a switch that has been working, but after leaving it sit for maybe 2 months, it is no longer charging or powering up, even after an iFixit battery swap. What next?
That's kind of hard to know right off of hand. I'd kind of have to know a little bit more about it. The first thing that I would do is see if it's charging at all. So I have those little white charge meters that I plug in. So I plug that into the cable and plug it into the switch, and that'll tell me if it's drawing any amps at all. That'll tell me if the battery's charging at all. If it's not, then it's probably there's 2 chips that could be causing that problem. So it's probably one of those. The M92 chip, and then there's another kind of battery charging chip on there. So I would guess it's one of those, but it's really like, without having something like that here to test, there's really not much I can go off of there. So yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the best answer I have for you. What do you think, Robert?
I was going to say exactly what you said, and then you took around.
Yeah,
actually, it reminded me because I recently did an Animal Crossing edition switch that was like the victim of a car accident, I think. And when we got that video done, we finished it, put it out there, and it was fixed. But then we found out later that it wasn't actually charging, even though the indicator light was coming on. Yeah, that's the light was coming on. It looked like it was charging, but it wasn't actually taking a charge. So
yeah, that's true. If you guys have watched on the Restorish channel, Robert kind of restored that Animal Crossing switch light that had road rash. So that one looked like everything was working fine. And it even, when you plug the charger in, it'll show that it's charging, but it's not actually charging. So
yeah, so that's a project for another day to figure that out.
All right, what do we got next?
Hi, I'm a 13-year-old and I opened my new business about electronics. Where can I get the best bargains?
Oh man. That sort of depends on what exactly you're trying to buy, how much experience you have. There's kind of a lot of unknowns there. But I would, if it was me, I would actually probably still say eBay, even though it's really easy to find bad stuff there. It's a place that you can just go to and just search around, and especially if you kind of know what to look for and know what not to buy, you can still find really good deals on eBay. And I can't get really more specific than that because I don't know very much about, the specifics about what you're trying to do. But that's what I would say. I know of people that say probably it depends on the size of the city you're in, but Facebook Marketplace, you can get good deals on. Other marketplaces like that. I have heard of people getting good deals at pawn shops. Most of the stuff I see at pawn shops is overly expensive, but sometimes you can work with them on price too. So I don't know. Those are kind of my initial thoughts on where to buy good stuff. So hopefully that's helpful. And I love that you're 13 and starting a business. That's the type of person that I am. And so that's amazing. Even if, even if you're not necessarily successful in your first business, it'll give you experience to learn more for your next one. So, but if you are, that's awesome too. So I hope you're successful, and I love to see that.
Yeah.
So
cool. All right, next one. And I think we can do this one for both of you, or whichever one of you wants to answer. How do I fix stick drift on my PS5 controller?
The The main way that I have fixed stick drift is by just disassembling it far enough to get underneath. There's like on the top of the thumbsticks, there's like an umbrella shield that protects and tries to keep dust and gunk from getting inside of the mechanism. But if you can get to the point where you pull that off to see inside of the actual little stick sticking up that moves around, just take that and spray some BW100 or another safe contact aerosol contact cleaner in there, and then kind of wiggle it around, do it a few times, and just try to get any gunk that might have gotten stuck in there out of there. That doesn't always fix it. There's sometimes repairs or things that actually need to be done, or just replacing the stick at that point, which can be done. But a lot of times that does fix it.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. If it's just dirty, if there's just kind of gunk in there, that usually works. And you know, sometimes that's just a temporary fix. Other times it'll last a long time that way. I will say, if your analog stick is totally worn out, which plenty of them are, then no amount in cleaning is going to fix it. It's just a matter of replacing the analog stick itself. So that's the main thing. I do also want to say BW100 is a sponsor of a lot of the TronicsFix videos. And so I don't want you to think, oh, he's just saying that because they sponsor us, because that is a legit, comment or whatever. But I will say that that's a product I would use anyway, even if they weren't sponsoring us. And there are other electronic contact cleaners out there. I haven't used them, but I have heard of others that people use. So it doesn't have to be BW100. We use it and like it, but there are others as well. So
cool. Sounds good. We have a super chat that we're going to do next.
Let's go super chat.
Bradley Parker. He wants to know, his Samsung phone screen broke. Should he fix it himself or take it to a shop?
That's a really hard question to answer because I know nothing about Mr. Parker over here. So, if you have some experience doing it, I mean, as long as you don't break, anything further, it's already broken. It's not going to hurt, I will say, depending on, if it's one of the newer Samsung phones, they're pretty difficult to repair. But if you have a little bit of experience, then sure, why not? I mean, it can totally be done. So also I will say though, like, if you're just like, I don't know, like there's no shame in taking it to a repair shop for sure. So don't feel like, you have to try. I mean, if you feel pretty comfortable doing it, I'd say go for it. If you're like, I don't know, then it might be better to just take it into somebody who knows what they're doing a little more. That's always a really hard question to answer because it totally depends on the experience of the person asking, and there's just no way to know. But either way, Bradley, good luck, and thanks for the super chat.
All right, and we have another one from the coder. He says, hit me up if you want to learn UART, Steve. UART, I don't know.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I appreciate that. That is something that I should take the time to learn. I probably will at some point. I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably try it myself and see if I can figure it out. But if I can't, you'll be at the top of the list of people I reach out to. Also, thank you. I see you're in the chat moderating. I really do appreciate that. And I don't know if we have any other moderators in there today other than Kirsten and Jessica, but I do appreciate everyone who comes in and moderates these live streams. So thanks, Phil.
Really quick, what is UART?
Okay, UART. There's going to be a lot of people in the chat who can explain it better than me. But that's essentially, so I associate it to, if you're driving your car around and the engine light comes on, then there's going to be codes that you can, go to a mechanic, or if you have a code reader, you can read the codes yourself. So I associate it with that, where you plug in a device and there's some software you can use to basically kind of read the codes on your PS5 and kind of see what the PS5 is saying is wrong. So that's kind of my explanation. But definitely read the chat because there's going to be some better explanations in there, I'm confident.
Sounds good. All right. Question for Rob. What's your favorite console?
The Super Nintendo, the original Game Boy, if I mod it to put a backlit screen in it, and my current Nintendo Switch OLED. So I'm all Nintendo stuff. That's kind of what I am, what I've always been into. But yeah, those are my favorites out of that.
It's a good choice. I love Nintendo stuff. So much history there.
Steve, you want to answer that one too, or move on to the next one?
Let's just move on to the next one because I don't have a favorite anyway. So
Yeah. Steve doesn't play video games very much.
It's a boring answer for me anyway.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one for both of you. What are some good essential tools to have besides the Protect toolkit?
Besides the Protect toolkit, again, it kind of depends on the specific stuff you're trying to work on. I'm assuming it's electronics if you have the Protect toolkit. So what do you think, Robert?
I'm just running through my mind of what I use that came in my Protect toolkit and what I use frequently that isn't in there. Needle nose pliers. Are they? There's like some little. There's tweezers.
There's tweezers. There's not pliers in there though.
So I use those a lot. My little IPA dispenser bottle, but that's particularly for the cleaning. Stuff.
But I mean, that's super. I use that all the time as well.
Yeah. My little electronic air duster, incredible, and a little bit of saving the planet by not using too much aerosol. So
yeah,
I like that thing a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all of those. As much cleaning stuff, like cotton swabs and stuff like that. I use those all the time. I have a set of metal dental picks, which I don't always recommend.
The dental picks aren't in there.
Yeah, because you can easily break stuff off scraping too hard or the wrong way or whatever. But I'm used to using it, and they're just super handy for me. So those are kind of the ones that come to mind. I'm also assuming you're not asking about soldering tools because that's a whole nother thing. So
and I haven't inked my sponsorship with Magic Eraser yet, so I can't. I want to wait until.
That's a good one though.
Just kidding.
Magic Eraser is super handy. Not that we use that here ever.
Yeah,
because it's super abrasive. Yeah. But I don't know. Those are the things that come to mind. If there's any more specific things you want to know about the essential tools to have, you can ask again, and maybe we can answer even better. But
cool. Sounds good. Next question. Do you have a J box? Is that a thing? Is that a typo?
I don't think I have a J box. Maybe I do.
If you know, you do. And if you don't, you don't.
So you're saying you have a J box?
I'm not saying either way. The question was directed there to you, I believe.
It doesn't say that. It just says, do you? Maybe it's for all of us.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently that's not a thing. Is that the consensus?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a thing. It's just
how close is the J to the X on the keyboard? It's pretty far away. So I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. It's not a typo.
Yeah.
Someone needs to send us one, I guess.
Yeah, there we go.
I see JTAG box in there, junction box.
JTAG box. Yeah.
Just looking at the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next one. All right. Let's do this one. What inspires you to create YouTube content and Facebook content? Shout out to my Facebook people.
Yep, it is definitely YouTube and Facebook content and TikTok content and even sometimes Instagram content. Okay, what inspired? Do you want to start with this, Rob, and let me collect my thoughts?
Sure.
All right, why don't you get started?
I have a friend named Steve who got into YouTube and started realizing that that was a good part of his business as he was doing a repair business, and that kind of shifted into being the entirety of his business. And we reconnected at a time that was really good for me to find something to do with my life and time, and thought about some things that I could do helping out in the business that led into creating content on YouTube as well with Restorish. So
yeah. All right. So other than the job, what inspires you to keep making content?
Oh, the money for sure. Yeah, it's both a great hobby and job, and I'm in a unique position, I think, with it compared to a lot of other content creators, that I can only just stand back in awe and respect of anybody who does create content on their own. You know, because I'm obviously connected with TronicsFix. You were already established. There was already revenue there to be able to put into business and my time and all those things, that if you're just doing it on the side as a hobby and knowing how much content you have to create to get a ball rolling and to try to build an audience and do all those things, I have mad respect for anybody who has done that without the support of a friend like you that I'm working with in this business. So
yeah,
I don't think it really answered the question, but I just want to recognize and say that I know I'm in a very unique position.
Yeah. Do you want to answer the question, or
what is the question again? What inspires you to create YouTube content? I love relaxing, beautiful things. And I know cleaning, it's starting dirty and like seeing that transformation. I enjoy watching just that process. And I enjoy doing it the way that I try to do, with a little bit of story and a little bit of music and just relaxation, a little bit of color splash, hence the pink, and sometimes a lot of times a blue background for that color contrast, when a lot of times what you're working with is grays, whites, and blacks. So I think I like what I feel as the art of it a bit more than probably most people who do this kind of content. And that's what keeps me going, is that artistic part of it. Which is why I still do all my own editing and most of my own editing, and want to, because it's that artistic flavor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'll answer the first part. What inspired me to create YouTube content? So a long time ago, I think my channel's like 9 years old or something like that now. I was running a repair business, electronics repair, mostly PlayStation 4s, fixing HDMI ports because those things were horrible. And I was looking on YouTube, I don't remember, for something, and there wasn't a lot out there for people like me that had problems with like PlayStation 4s. There wasn't a lot of resources out there on YouTube. And also, I'm a business person. I'm very entrepreneurial. So I'm always kind of like looking at the next thing, for the next thing, for something better or bigger or whatever, which sometimes causes problems. But it also sometimes creates really cool businesses. So I decided that I would just film a video about PlayStation 4 HDMI ports and put it on YouTube and just see what happens, just for fun, just as an experiment.
And you should go look up his very first video and watch it, just to enjoy his screen presence.
We don't have to say that every live stream, okay?
I love it though.
So I made a video. I had no clue how to film or how to edit or how to do any of that stuff, and I just put up a video to see what would happen, and it did okay. The next one did even better. And then I was running my repair business though, and so it was like I didn't have a lot of time to do videos, so I do a few videos and then wait months and do a few more. So that's kind of like the inspiration behind it. It was just kind of a business experiment, sort of, also to help people out. I mean, I definitely enjoy that part of it as well. So and what inspires me to keep going, I would say that I quite often get messages, comments, emails from people just saying like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that you inspired me to learn how to fix my game console or my phone or my blender or whatever it is, or start a business or whatever. And like those are very inspiring for me and very much keep me going and like help me feel like what I do matters. The other thing too that helps me stay inspired is this is a business now, and there are other people that depend on me continuing to make videos. So that is very inspirational, if you will. So I think that hopefully that answers that question.
Oh, are you done?
That's mean.
Sorry, I'm in a unique position, I think, where I've heard the story a few times. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I just lost my question. Where is it? There we go. For the whole team, what is everyone's favorite hobby?
Thumbs are handy too, by the way. That's an amazing username.
They are handy. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and be quiet and let everyone else answer this.
Why? Because you don't have any hobbies? Because you're always busy making businesses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just say one of my favorites, which is Lego Castle MOCs. I'm not super good at doing it, but I'm fascinated by it, and I do have a lot of castle Lego that I've collected since I was a child, and enjoy making my own creations.
I'll go next. So besides art and like drawing and graphic design, my favorite hobby would probably, this is very random, but my favorite hobby would probably be rock hounding. So I love going and I don't know, going to parks or sometimes like actual places to find like gemstones and things. But it's like one of my favorite things to do is like look for pretty rocks. I don't even think I've told you guys that.
I was trying to remember.
I think I remember it a long, long time ago.
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've mentioned this one before, but I have to mention it again because behind me on the wall, you can see most of my nail polish collection. So that's one of my consistent hobbies. I repaint my nails at least once a week, and I'm really into collecting nail polish. So
Nice.
trying to think of another one. I have other hobbies too, but playing games, of course.
Mm-hmm. And I will say one of my hobbies is just getting outside, doing some hiking or backpacking or whatever. Just being outside.
Nice. When was the last time you went on a hike?
2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay. I thought I was going to catch you there.
No, you totally didn't.
Nice.
How about you? When's the last time you went on a hike?
So define hike.
It's actually kind of hard.
That's a very loose word.
Yeah. When's the last time you did something that you consider
walk?
a hike?
Actually, not just walking around my neighborhood, but going somewhere else where there's like nature and doing that. A month.
Yeah, that's all right, I guess.
All right.
Before we do the next question, I do have to say we're going to do probably just a couple more questions here and then get into a different segment of the live stream that'll be a surprise. So let's do like what? Let's do two more.
A surprise.
All right.
A surprise to them or to me?
Maybe all of us.
All right. Next question. A question for Kirsten. What made you choose graphic design, and how did you end up joining the TronicsFix team?
Oh, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for asking, Paul. I started doing artwork at a very young age, and it kind of became like my passion to just like draw or like dabble into various types of artwork. And when I got into community college, I took some graphic design classes, and I remember sitting there like working on the Apple computers, and I was like, I love this. Like, it was just something I was so excited about that I hadn't really like tried before. So after I took those classes, I started thinking more like maybe I could do more graphic design. Maybe I could take more classes or eventually like get a degree in it or something. And so that's kind of where that started. And then some years went by, and then I decided to go to university, and I went to university for graphic design, and I just fell in love with it. And through that program, there was an internship that I had to do. And the person, my advisor at the college, just randomly knew TronicsFix. So he was like, hey, TronicsFix is looking for a graphic designer. Would you like to work with them and like do an interview and stuff? And I was like, sure. And so that's kind of where that started. I did the interview. They gave me the job, surprisingly. And that's kind of where we're at. I started as an internship, and now I'm full-time. So yeah, it's been great.
And I will just say Kirsten does amazing work.
Yes.
And if you guys go to check out our merch or other gear like the desk mats, most of those designs are Kirsten's designs. So we very much value and appreciate her contributions on our team. So
yeah, and we have talked a lot about how we wish we had more graphic design stuff for her to be able to do, because that's what she loves doing the most. But she also steps in and just does a ton of other stuff for the business as well, even if it's not her favorite necessarily thing to do. So she's awesome.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about a small business is you get to do all sorts of fun stuff, even if it's not that fun.
Yeah, it's that's what I started doing, was graphic design, and then I moved into a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we initially interviewed Kirsten for a video editing position, which we ended up hiring someone else for that. But we so much loved her graphic design skills and stuff like that, that we're like, okay, and also we need her to be an intern for us too. And then I don't remember, Kirsten, it was maybe a year after you started working for us, then we're like, hey, maybe video editing. And so eventually ended up doing that too.
Yeah, that's like the best case scenario for a small business when you do an internship, is you find somebody that you're like, yeah, we want you to be like part of this full time going forward.
Yeah,
and find someone of quality like that, and yeah, it's awesome.
Coming from the business owner's perspective, it's a great way to find really, really good employees that fit with your team. Because if it's like, we're going to do a 6-month internship, then you have 6 months to learn about them, figure out if you guys mesh well, figure out, how well they work and stuff like that. And so if it works great at the end of 6 months, you can be like, hey, you want to stay on? And if it doesn't, it's like, well, thanks for, being a part of our team for 6 months, and now we all move on. So yeah, I really like doing it that way. So
all right, we were going to do one more.
Yep.
Right. And I think this is supposed to say the perfect amount of thermal paste. Favorite catchphrase.
UL Vlogs and Retro, thank you for the $2 super chat. And I'm assuming that you're saying that's your favorite catchphrase, and I appreciate that. That is definitely one of my favorite catchphrases as well. It's one of the best.
I wonder how many new or people that have been part of your channel but maybe don't know the origin of that. Why is that a thing that your channel says? Does everyone just know that?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that don't know. It's not like I talk about it really ever, other than maybe live streams. So yeah,
I didn't know. I had to ask. And
yep, I guess it's just a secret they'll never know.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
That's
just
good,
kidding.
Let's move forward.
So anybody who wants to know, I'll do a quick origin story. How much thermal paste you put in a device is something that everyone has a different opinion, and most people are happy to share their opinion. And so I would see those comments every time I was showing thermal paste. You're like, oh, you're doing too much. Oh, that's not enough. You didn't spread it right or whatever. So I just decided to make a joke about it and say, this is the perfect amount and you can't argue with it or whatever, which people obviously still did, which is hilarious. So now it's a catchphrase. I always put on the perfect amount of thermal paste, and it still drives some people insane, and people have probably unsubscribed because of that. So that's the origin.
And I got my what do you call it, like my exposure to that community by doing a video that was a collab, and you said something to me, and I had an opportunity to take it apart and clean it and put it back together. And in putting it back together, I put a very large amount of thermal paste inside of it as a joke, kind of knowing that that's a thing, but also just because you've also told me many times that from the research that you have done on it, and you are the all-knowing Steve, and so I trust that, that you can put too little, but it's hard to put too much. Like, as long as you get enough in there, that's going to be okay. So I put a lot in there, and yeah, it didn't go so well in the comments for how much thermal paste I put in. Then I found out, there are people who care very much about how much thermal paste you put in things, and
it's a big deal. I
do apologize. I wasn't trying to.
No, don't apologize.
Yeah, okay.
They deserve it.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to move on to the next segment. There will be more questions being answered here in a few minutes. One of the things that I wanted to do with us here as a team is there's often questions or comments that I see on my videos that I don't necessarily get a chance to respond to. And there's things on other people like Rob's videos, and Kirsten and Jessica, I'm assuming, see questions or comments that they would like to ask us as well. And sometimes we don't do that. So we've taken the time to go through Robert's videos, my videos, and pick out some questions or comments that we wanted to highlight and talk about a little bit. So that's what we're going to do now. And I'm going to turn it over to Jessica to do that.
And this is a little bit of an experiment doing this. So
Yeah, this will be an experimental segment. If you guys like this, then let us know, and maybe we'll do it in more live streams.
All right. So I think what we talked about doing is I would throw it in the comments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have the question in there. I got to get to the, there we go. Bottom of the comments. This actually, you guys' last little thing there segues perfectly into this question from Benjamin Green from Facebook. And we'll add that in there. Oh, and it goes everywhere. All right. So Benjamin Green wants to know, Steve, what's Robert's ranking on the perfect amount of thermal paste? Like, how's he doing?
Oh, is this a question that you picked out, Jessica?
Yes. Oh, this is one I picked out. Yes.
Okay. So this is a question that Jessica picked out and would like us to address. So what is Robert's ranking on the perfect amount of thermal paste? I will say, you know, you did start out pretty strong there, Robert. And I can say that one video where you really piled it on, that there was a lot of thermal paste there. So, you know, I think you kind of like started up here, but then kind of brought it down a couple notches. So we're going to need to do probably some remedial training on that.
Okay.
Which you're used to, I guess. So
yeah, I like having a goal to shoot for. It keeps me motivated.
Yeah. So your next raise is going to be dependent on whether you can really apply the perfect amount of thermal paste.
I even off camera, so many times I have done it, and I have never gotten that like glow. That
really
sound effect never happens for me.
It's never happened.
Always does. Even when you're not filming, like that happens every time you do it.
Yeah.
I've never hit it, but
that's weird. Yeah, it's like every time for me. I mean, you've seen my videos. Every time it has that glow and the angels sing and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now you know what you need to do for your next race. Okay, I think we're done with that one.
All right. I had to do that one first since it just like it fits so perfectly with what we were talking about before.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Yep. All right. Let's do next question for Robert then, since we started the first one with Steve. Let's see. Let's do Steve's question for Robert.
Okay.
And you want to say that, right, Steve?
I do, but I realized that the paper that I printed it out on, it didn't actually print for some reason. So if you could put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that.
You didn't do, dude, bro.
No.
Seriously.
I was practicing my thermal paste.
Okay, so Mrs. Hammer 7643 wanted to know if she can send you my son's PS4. It's overheating, and the reason I asked this question is because we are looking for some consoles for the Restorish channel, and I wanted to let you address that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good opening there. So I don't know necessarily about this one. An overheating issue, it may just because it's dirty and it could be clean. What we're looking for in Restorish more than anything are things that are really gross. We have found as we experiment with videos, as I continue to do things and build a library, which we're over 50 now videos in Restorish. We've found that just kind of my take on cleaning something doesn't tend to do very well as a video. If it's just, you know, oh, it's a little bit dirty and I took it apart and cleaned it. What we're looking for is trying to find things that have a bit of a story or something that's a little bit more like of a shock or wow factor, or something that's uniquely gross,
like extremely dirty
kind of
or gross.
Extremely gross. So whoever has something that you think might be a candidate for that, just reach out to us in any of the Restorish YouTube videos. If you go into the video description, we have a contact email in there that you can reach out to me directly, and we can talk, share pictures, see if there's anything there. If we come across something, if you have something that might make for a good video on our channel, we'll definitely be interested in talking to you about possibly purchasing that from you. So
Mhm.
that is another thing just to put in there, is that we don't tend to take things to fix for someone else.
Yeah.
We'd very much prefer to be able to buy those things so that if it goes wrong, there's not bad feelings about it. So
Yeah. And I will
Yeah.
say, when it comes to like cleaning stuff, we would consider more taking something to clean it for someone and not, I mean, I feel like if it's going to be a repair
Okay.
video for, or a repair for my videos, then I would rather buy it. If it's like a cleaning video, I'd feel a little bit better about taking it in for a cleaning. But again, like what we're specifically looking for are just things that are just super dirty or things that are super gross, like
Mhm.
cockroach infested, even like stuff like that, that makes really good cleaning videos. So keep that in mind. Send us an email if you have
Is
something
this a
like
good
that.
window of time to talk about the Discord at all?
Yeah.
And just that we have a Discord, we have a growing community. In fact, I've been watching in the comments here on my screen as we have this conversation
Mhm.
and seeing a number of names and people from our Discord
Hmm.
engaging with each other. And I see some of those names that I recognize from conversations just ongoing in our Discord. So look for that. Our TronicsFix Discord is now just public, right?
Yeah.
You can just search for it, find it,
Mhm.
get into it, because it got over 1,000 members in it.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
also links on our YouTube videos and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I think what you're trying to say there is you can contact us on Discord as well.
Yeah, you can contact us on Discord, but also just to join and come and be part of that Discord community if you aren't already.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the next one.
Cool. All right. So this next one is one that Kirsten picked out to ask for to Steve. So that's what we will do next. Let me throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, so this question is from Matt Gruber. What's the worst condition cart you have ever brought back to life without changing the board?
Game cart, I'm assuming. Okay, so I've fixed a number of them, but there was one specifically I remember that had like the battery was missing and there was like a pad torn off near the battery, and then it had like liquid damage, so several of the traces had to be repaired. And like that one was pretty close. It was like kind of a toss up whether it was worth fixing that one or just putting all the parts in a new board. I did end up fixing it and it did work, but there was just a lot of work to get it to work, from scraping off the corrosion to repairing the little trace and all of that stuff. So yeah, that was the worst condition one. I don't remember what game it was though. I feel like it was probably a Pokemon game, but I don't remember for sure. So yeah, that's what I would say was the worst condition one.
Nice. All right. And then next question is for Robert. This is my question that I found on Facebook. So here we go. From Stefan Potoff. Have you ever thought about dry ice cleaning?
I haven't thought about dry ice cleaning. Can I just openly admit that I don't know what dry ice cleaning is? But within that's actually a really good window for me to just admit that I am very much still in the learning phase of restoring.
Mm-hmm.
I have been making videos for 1.5 years now, so I'm learning some things and reading what people leave in comments and trying some different things out and whatnot. But there's a lot of things that I don't have an awareness of and haven't tried yet. So
yeah. So I don't know if I've seen dry ice cleaning or not. I'm guessing though, especially things that have like soda damage on them. If that's in dry ice, I'm assuming that would be super easy to clean off if it was completely frozen down to dry ice temperature and probably just scrapes right off. That's something you should look into though. That could be cool.
I saw in our chat here right now, someone asked a question about best way to deal with live bugs inside of a console. And sorry, it kind of went by and I don't have the name. But yeah, someone asked that question, and so I was thinking about what you did or you told me about doing before, where you got like a hefty bag and you put it in there and whatnot. And someone else put in the chat that they just put it in a deep freeze for 5 hours.
I've heard of people doing that. Yeah.
Then I assume, take it out and just open it up, and you've got a bunch of frozen bugs, or you let it thaw and they've been killed by that point. And
hopefully, anyway.
There's so many things that can be tried.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the coming years as I continue to expand my experimental knowledge, trying things. And
so I think the answer here is a bug infested PS5 with live cockroaches that we dip in dry ice.
That would be awesome. Yes.
There is someone who put a definition of dry ice cleaning in the comments. I'm going to throw it up on the screen.
Uses pressurized. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to buy another cool piece of tech?
Yes, it does.
I think
It means that you get to buy another cool piece of tech from me to use in a video.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next?
All right. Next, we're going to do Robert's question for Steve. So let me get that up on.
But he doesn't know what it is, since he forgot his piece of paper.
I bet I
that he
can
wrote
remember.
down.
It'll be up on the screen.
I don't think I can read it word for word, but I can tell you the idea. I know what it is.
Okay.
There we go. On the screen. Go for it, Robert.
Okay, from Chaos Angel 1, how soon do you think a person will break a PS5 Pro?
Oh, so soon. Like it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get one, since they are under warranty. But like, I mean, so soon. Even like, I always watch eBay to buy, the broken ones as soon as I can. Or sometimes people will email me with broken ones, and it's like, I mean, we're talking like weeks afterwards I see or hear that some of them are broken.
Yeah.
So
like, if you get one and you break it, don't cash it into warranty. Just cut your losses, send it to Steve. Let him make a cool video.
I'll give you one
he'll shout you out in the video. That is worth so many PS5 Pros. Just
so
a shout
many
out on TronicsFix.
Yeah. Some new consoles though are used in like business environments or something like that, and so those ones Sony won't always take as warranty repairs, since they're not being used by just like a personal person. So I think that's some of the reasons sometimes they show up for that are broken. So okay, what's next? Jessica, you're muted.
I like Steve, you are the warranty as a comment.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so next we're going to do Kirsten's question for Robert.
Oh, back to back. No,
right.
no, that one was for you.
Yep, let's go.
All right.
So this person asks, did you ever consider cleaning plastic shells and other plastic parts in a dishwasher?
No, but I am considering that. That is on my list of things I want to experiment with. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have cleaned, I cleaned a Nintendo Entertainment System in a dishwasher once, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole thing, just the plastics, but it worked really well.
No, there's some people like who clean boards and stuff.
I've seen
the
it.
dishwasher too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The trick with that though is you have to make sure and get them dried afterwards, like everything really dried. So we need to get compressed air and blow it all out. But all right, let's move on.
All right, so the next comment is Steve's comment that he picked out for himself.
For himself.
Okay. So this was a comment I saw in one of my videos, and it like made me laugh out loud so hard that I just had to share it. I'm not going to try the username there, but this guy is a fluxing legend. And I love it because I love using the word flux in that way. And we're also working on some merch kind of along those lines, but it's hilarious. And it made me laugh, and so I needed to share it with everyone else. So you guys are welcome. Maybe one day you can be a fluxing legend too.
Now I'm kicking myself that I didn't use one of the comments I thought about using. That I'm like, it's a little.
You should have.
I should have. Yeah.
See.
Okay.
Next time.
Man, maybe we can make a T-shirt that says "I'm a fluxing legend."
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that.
That would be great.
So.
Nice. All right, and our last question is Robert's question for himself that he's picked for himself.
I don't remember this.
All right, and up on the board.
Oh yeah, okay. So Dimello 8826. Does the liquid mess up or soften the cartridge's front and back labels in any way? So this was on a video that I did for the Super Nintendo cartridges. I went through 30 of them and did the pen cleaning process to see how many of them I could get working, non-working games into working games. And I had a number of people. I just kind of pulled this one out of the comments, but I had a number of people who commented at how uncomfortable, discomforting it was to watch me put those cartridge shells in soapy water, even if just for a second, to just clean them up and then dry them off. And because of the potential damage that could happen to the labels. And for that video, I kind of thought to myself, like, I mean, I can see that, like, if it's frayed or if there's a way for water to kind of get in, but those stickers on those NES, on those Super Nintendo cartridges seem to be pretty just resilient to that, at least for a short period of time. I have not cleaned a Super Nintendo cartridge where putting it in soapy water and then cleaning it really quick and drying it off really good, where I saw the water damage the sticker in any way. However, I then just very recently, it's my most recent video I put out, I did a stack of NES games, and the very first cartridge, I didn't use soapy water for this one at all because of these comments on the last video, but even getting a tiny bit of IPA close to it, it just grabbed a hold of it, saturated. You could see the water stain getting under the label. Those NES cartridges were way more prone to liquid damage just from touching any kind of. And so I as I was going through all those cartridges, I got more and more careful as I was going along, realizing how easy it was and why I think people would be nervous about putting those labels near water. So that being said, after I've done that stack of 35 NES games now, I won't be putting any cartridges with labels on them in water because of how bad that scarred me. And so I've kind of moved into team don't do that is where I sit now. However, my experience with Super Nintendo cartridges was that it did not happen in that extreme way. But I'm sure there are probably people who have had labels ruined by doing that. And so probably just best to stay away from it. And that's where I'm going to move. So
there you have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Cool.
Was that all of the questions we picked out for ourselves?
That was it.
Okay. So in a couple minutes, we're going to go back to answering your guys' questions. So feel free to keep putting them in the chat. Jessica and Kirsten are going to be picking them out. I want to ask you guys, the audience, a question or two. And so what I'm wondering is, you guys obviously watch my videos, Restorish videos. What are your favorite things about TronicsFix or Restorish videos? Put it in the chat. We'll give you 10-15 seconds to put that in the chat.
We get some love.
Yeah, just because I just want to see kind of what people's favorite things are.
He's doing this for me. He knows how much words of affirmation and love just makes my day. So.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna next ask them the things they don't like. So
we all need to grow. I have a lot of room to grow. So.
Okay, what do we got? We got the troubleshooting. Seeing if you can fix it. Yeah. Succeeding in making things work again. Nice.
Whoops.
Anything Nintendo. Awesome. How clear they are to show exactly what's done. Nice.
I just can I comment on a comment?
Yeah, feel free.
Kind of flew by. So someone asked me if I'm Canadian. And I wanted to click on it and respond to it, and then I realized clicking on it threw it on the screen, and I just got all.
It's okay.
I'll answer this. I'll throw in another answer to a question. Someone asked, "How old are you?" I'm 43, and part of it is, I think, just my age. I'm so old in technology, and
probably.
So anyway, no, the question was I Canadian or am I Canadian? Because I said Zed in a video one time. I'm not Canadian. I grew up really close to Canada, like a half an hour's drive from Canada, and I have Canadian friends, and I threw that in there just as kind of a loving shout out to my Canadian friends. That was it. I actually had someone tell me they were unsubbing because I said it.
Wow.
They were like, "You lost me."
I mean,
you pronounced Z as Z, and I cannot. And I read in their comment Murica. They didn't actually say Murica, but I think that's what they meant.
Well, I mean, let's face it, though. Zed is a pretty offensive thing to say. And I'm kind of surprised. We might need to talk to HR about that. Okay, so next question. What are the things that you guys think that myself and Rob can do better in our videos? What do you guys want to see differently? And you won't hurt our feelings. Trust me, we read YouTube comments. So
you won't hurt his feelings.
You won't hurt my feelings. Yeah, careful with Robert's feelings.
I have feelings and they get hurt. The hardest part about this job is YouTube comments easily for me, but
it is difficult. Yeah.
I'm working on it.
All right, let's see. More Discord shout outs. Let's go, Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Matt. What's up?
Love the Discord.
More talking in my videos. Wow, longer videos. This coming after I just released a 50-minute video. That's crazy. Blooper reel video. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I've thought about having my video editor just put together all the bloopers. That would be really funny. More singing and dance. You mean singing and dancing? I mean, for me, I think you do some singing and dancing in yours, but
collab videos. I'm all about the collab videos, and we try to do as many as we can. It's just, we do it basically every time we can find something that both needs fixed and needs cleaned, and will be a good visual video for both. Yeah. So.
Yep. Yeah. All right, destroying stuff. So okay, so I did a video where I was destroying something, and you guys did not like that. So I'm not convinced that destroying stuff would be the best idea. Okay. Jessica, it looks like you have something you want to say.
I was just going to throw out there that was several years ago. So you might have more followers now.
I also did a Nintendo Switch OLED that I intentionally dunked in cornbread batter, and my audience did not like that.
True.
Because I put it in harm's way, and they were there to see me clean things, not to put them in harm's way. So
yeah, true. Okay. Thank you guys for playing my little answering my questions game. Let's move on to Q&A segment number 2. And I think Kirsten's going to be reading these ones out. So here we go.
We have this comment. Somebody donated $2. When will Robert experiment with Novus? Thank you.
That's the cleaning, scratch removing kind
plastic
of stuff.
Cleaning.
Plastic one. I have experimented with it a little bit. There was one video where I used it actually. And it just is one of those things that I get reminded of, that like, oh yeah, I should do that again and try it and use it. It's really easy when you're making videos like this to kind of fall into a familiar rut. And there are comments that I receive sometimes that push me, I think, in a good way, to reminding me I need to keep up to date on best practices. I need to try some new things and use some other things. And that's like trying to balance that also with just the sheer volume of suggestions and different things. I have a spreadsheet where Kirsten went through actually one day and pulled just all of the advice, and we just put it in stuff, and it's just overwhelming. And you know, I trust that there's some really good ideas and things and products and techniques and things that I can use in there, but it's also just kind of a long-term game to figure out and have time to experiment with things and try different stuff with just the sheer amount of suggestions and advice and things.
Yeah.
And it's, again, you put that together with just the reality that it's easy to fall into familiar ruts. And it is good for me to shake out of that. But yeah, Novus is something I have used. I liked it. And I probably will use it again. I have it sitting on my shelf right in my studio. So
yeah. And thank you, Alberto, for the super chat.
Sweet. I have a question now for all of us. This person asks, what other channels do you watch the whole team? And I was thinking we could say maybe our favorite YouTube channel, just to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That is really cool.
Why don't you guys start?
We get to give a shout out to just a random other channel.
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
I like it. Okay, I will say, can I start?
Yeah, start.
I would say right now my favorite channel is The Healthy Gamer. If you come across The Healthy Gamer, it's a doctor of psychology or psychiatry. I'm not sorry if I got that wrong, but basically just talks about mental health, but it's geared towards gamers, and I really like how he does stuff, and I've personally been helped by a lot of the videos I've watched of his. So
I, of course, don't have a favorite channel. I guess they're asking what other channels. They didn't even ask. That's smart to not ask favorite, at least for me anyway. I will say I've been watching some of, if you guys know the Outdoor Boys, the guy that like goes out in the Alaska wilderness and makes survival videos. So that's cool. I also like to just kind of keep an eye on what other repair channels are out there. And so there's like, it seems like there's always new repair channels that I didn't know existed. And so that's always fun. I don't have a specific, there's like 2 specific ones that I just noticed recently that are doing great. I don't remember the names of their channels though. I have been enjoying Joey Does Tech, his eBay trying to make money series. That's been fun to watch. So shout out to Joey Does Tech. So I don't know. Those are a few of mine.
My favorite right now, or my number one favorite, probably would be this this girl who plays Sims 4. Her name is Whiny Brit, and she's hilarious. She just has really funny videos on Sims 4. And I was gonna do just one, but the second YouTube channel that I really like right now, they're called Young Guns Opal Hunters, and they're in Australia, and they have a cool like opal mine. And they do stuff, and it's cool.
I've seen some opal mine videos. They're fascinating.
Right?
Yeah.
Opal's really pretty too, so it's just all around great.
I'm going to do 2 as well. The first one is one that our son Seth and I like to watch together, and that is Ryan George. He does like comedy videos, and we just think he's hilarious. So those, and then I enjoy watching videos of people like review games. Mostly cozy games are my favorite. So I've been watching Iona quite a bit, especially like in the fall. Just seems like the perfect time to play Switch games. So those are my 2 right now.
I feel like I should get a second now. I need to just give one more shout out.
What is it?
To another favorite of mine, because people brought up comedy stuff and stuff I watch. Matt Rose. If anyone
never heard of him.
Okay.
All right.
I've actually shown you a Matt Rose video before.
I guess I have.
Matt Rose video.
Okay. It was hilarious.
It was.
I'm sure.
It was.
All right. Next question.
The next question is for Steve. Are you going to be doing more mobile fixing videos?
Mobile phones, I'm assuming that question is asking. Maybe, especially, I really want to get an iPhone 16 now and try out their I wish I knew the technical name for it, but their adhesive that releases when you apply voltage. It sounds so cool, and I just mostly just want to play with that. So, but obviously it's going to be a while before I can get those. I'd really like to do one where I get like where I take 2 broken phones and turn them into one good one. Those are kind of fun to do. So at some point I would like to, but I don't know. It'll be a while probably before I can find 2 of those that are broken. So yeah.
Sweet. Next question. How and when did you get into repairing electronics? And I guess this could be for both of you guys, repairing or restoring, respectively.
Yeah. How and when did I get into repairing electronics? I got into repairing electronics quite a while ago. I would say more heavily like 12, 15 years ago. I was actually a stay-at-home dad for a while. And so I would hang out with my son all day, and Tronic's wife would go to work at a regular full-time job. And as I said before, I'm fairly entrepreneurial, so I'm always looking for ways to make money. So my son and I would go to places like Goodwill and try and find broken stuff and then try and fix it and resell it on eBay. Or we would buy it on eBay and try and fix it and resell it. So that's kind of like where I got started in electronics. I will say I grew up on a farm, so I've always been into like fixing stuff, but kind of more heavily into electronics. 12, 15 years ago. So.
And for me, almost 2 years ago when I started working with TronicsFix. So.
Yep.
Awesome. Next question comes from a super chat. You
right.
probably have done it, but a series of videos on the whole searching, buying, and selling process, maybe.
Thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciate it. That's a great idea for a series. I actually have not done it. I guess I sort of did some videos when I did the collab with my mate Vince, where we kind of made a contest out of it to try and buy and fix and resell, and whoever made the most won. So I guess I sort of did that. And I'm totally open to doing it again. And I don't know if Vince would be, whether he would want to do it with me as well. But so here's the problem with those videos is they were fun to make. They took a long time and the views were like, okay. And so like, it's kind of like, I like the idea, but also if my views are kind of lower on a series of videos, that's not a lot of incentive for me to keep making those videos. And so that's kind of why I haven't done it again. I'm not saying, like, I think there's probably a format that would work, that would be more popular. I don't know what it is, but I think there probably is a way to do that. So I don't know. It's a good idea, and I might try to experiment a little more in the future.
Awesome. Let's see. Next question's from another super chat. What was your most frustrating repair?
Oh man. I mean, I don't have a specific one, but I will say any repair that I like sort of think I can fix and I spend a lot of time on, and I, am in the motherboard with the schematic testing stuff, and then I end up not being able to fix it, or any electronic where I don't have enough information to even try to really give it a good try, like those are both super frustrating for me. And so like on in my videos, if I can't fix something, I usually don't show being that frustrated, because like that's not very fun. But sometimes I am fairly frustrated that I can't fix something, especially if I can't even get the information or the part I need. That's super annoying. So
Sweet. Let's see. We have one more super chat, it looks like.
All right, let's go.
Will we see a very long-haired Steve in the future? Shout out to long hair Joey Does Tech.
I think this is a better question for Tronic's wife. Or am I going to grow out my hair? And I'm just saying that as a joke because she's not necessarily a fan of long-haired Steve. I will say, though, that I'm very much enjoying having hair, period. And I have shaved kind of the sides of my face recently, but I even grew that out for a while just because I could. And it's amazing to be able to grow it since I hadn't been able to for a while. So
we should both grow our hair out for a year and see who gets longer. But I get to start where I am.
Let's both
start where you are.
Grow out our hair for a year and see whose wife divorces us first.
Boy, I should be careful. I'm halfway there. I haven't had a haircut in I think 7 months. So, yeah.
Wait, is Liz still sleeping at home?
Yeah, you just give me a raise. I'll cut my hair. It's not free. Also, shout outs to Discord. I recognize Peter from there.
Yeah, I do as well. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for hanging out with us on Discord. Super fun.
Also, on the hair topic, Steve has grown out his hair a couple times in the past, and his facial hair too. So if you guys want, I could probably dig up those pictures and we could share those.
Oh boy. Not on Discord. No, we can't do it on Discord.
Why not?
Just kidding. we can make a no, we need to move on.
This one is for all of us. What was your favorite or your first game system growing up? I think this might have been asked the last stream. I can't remember exactly, but I thought it'd be fun to do it again.
So now we have to answer the same thing, or they'll know we're lying.
Yeah. Mine was and still is the original Game Boy. My first games played was on the NES, but it was my brother's NES. I got a Game Boy as my own system. Yeah,
and I don't remember this on the last live stream, and I don't remember what I said. I'm trying to think of my first. I think my first game system might have been an NES, but that was like when I was in college, well after the NES was very old. But I think I'm going to go with that. I think that was my first, other than like a PC. I had a PC before that, but yeah.
I actually can't remember. I feel like mine is probably NES or SNES, but I grew up with gaming parents, so it's really they would know. Probably whatever gaming system they put me on first.
That is so cool. Also, that's like an age thing. I think anyone my age can't say they grew up with gaming parents. Gaming parents did not exist. It's cool to hear people say that now. Like, I grew up with gaming parents. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oh, you guys play Monopoly a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be
My kids grew up with gaming parents.
Yeah.
My first console would have been the NES. I didn't have one, but my brother had one. So.
I do see somebody asking about how do you join the Discord. Maybe one of the mods can put the link in the chat, or Jessica or Kirsten could do it as well. But also, you can go to any of my recent YouTube videos, and the link will be in there. So you can do that.
I haven't been putting them in mine. I put them in one, so go to TronicsFix.
Oh yeah, don't go to Restorish. You can't even put the Discord link in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are you able to get that, Jessica?
Yep, I got it. Posting now.
There we go.
Awesome. I'm gonna get the next question going. This one isn't a question, but Devin just wants to wish you or all of us the best.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, we very much appreciate that. I mean, I guess I can't speak for the rest of us. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
This one's kind of funny. This one is from Adam. What is your favorite bread?
Yeah, I saw that one too. Even though I had like 5 minutes to prepare in my mind, I still don't know. No. I've been thinking on it. This part of my brain I devoted to this, and I haven't. It's like focaccia bread, monkey bread. You ever had monkey bread?
Yeah. So Jessica and I are at a sort of a disadvantage here because neither of us can eat gluten.
All the breads. We should just have a live stream where we try all the breads live.
Yeah. That would actually be really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, but favorite gluten-free bread right now is Canyon Bakehouse. I don't remember what's that called? Hawaiian bread or Hawaiian bread or something. That's my favorite right now. There used to be a bakery, La Brea, and they made my favorite gluten-free bread.
Fry bread. Ever had fry bread? No, of course you haven't had fry bread. You can't have gluten.
Yeah, why don't you just name all the really good breads right now that I can't even eat?
Breads. We need to do it.
Jessica and Kirsten, what's your favorite bread?
You can go first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with banana bread. I can still make a pretty decent gluten-free banana bread. And that was actually one of the first things I learned how to bake when I was a kid. So between the tradition and the fact that gluten-free, it's still pretty good, I'm going with that.
Nice.
That's such good. Yeah. I would say probably one of my favorites would be banana bread or one of those things too. I think one that you can buy, my favorite would probably be Seattle. It's called Seattle sourdough. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know what that is. I live in the western side of Washington, so
I don't know if I've had Seattle sourdough, but I love sourdough, and that just makes it sound like it's got to be good.
It's probably really good.
It is really good.
Next time you come over here, will you bring some?
Sure.
on record. Okay, good.
I'll bring like 2 big loaves. I don't know about making Steve and Jessica eat it. Let's see. Next question. This was one for me that I saw that I thought was interesting.
The graphic lady.
That's my new nickname. I saw a few questions of people asking if I use AI, and I thought this would be interesting to talk about. So when I do designs, I generally I sketch what I want to make on like paper or digitally. And And if it's like a particularly complicated design or something that like I can't think of something like right off the top of my head, like how to draw something or do some artwork, I will get inspiration occasionally from AI. So like I'll type something in and be like, oh, I could do something that looks like that. Or like colors if I am lost with colors or whatever. So I will occasionally use it for inspiration, but I don't ever completely, like none of the designs on the shop are completely AI. It's all done by me. So yeah, I mean, it has its perks and it has pros and cons, but I think for me personally, I like to use it just for the inspiration side of things. It can be useful occasionally. I know it's controversial.
Yep. All right, we want to do, we got probably another 10, 15 minutes on the stream, I think. Does that work for you guys? All right, let's fill it up with some questions. What do we got next?
Let's see. I hope the dog is barking in the background isn't coming through my mic. But it's, oh, we have a super chat here, it looks like.
Let's go.
Great content, TronicsFix. Learned a lot about opening consoles. Also, Restorish introduced me to that cool IPA dispenser. Life changer. Big thanks from your fans in Peru.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very glad to hear you're learning stuff about opening consoles and cool stuff to buy for your repairs.
Yeah, awesome.
That is an amazing IPA dispenser.
It is
as well.
I feel like I did some good in the world. I like, yeah.
Way to go.
You contributed.
Yeah. Life change. It says it right there. You changed his life with that.
Yeah.
This one's for all of us again. What part of the country are you all in, staying safe from any weather in light of the hurricanes, I'm guessing?
We are generally in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep. We are all Pacific Northwesterners. Yeah. Good weather recently. Nothing crazy going on yet.
Yeah.
So Pacific Northwest, at least most of the time, is pretty chill with weather. Get some storms and some floods.
There's a lot of different regions within the Pacific Northwest as far as what weather looks like.
Yep.
Just Washington State alone has rainforest, desert, mountains,
volcanoes.
It's very, very different. A person who lives in Eastern Washington and a person who lives in Western Washington has a very different weather.
Yep. Agreed. Yep.
We just have a lot of volcanoes. Try not to think too much about that. Oh, okay. This one is, I'm guessing for Steve, but also could apply to Restorish. What is the easiest console to start learning on?
Easiest console to start learning on. I mean, firstly, whatever console you have broken laying around, I would say. But my classic answer to this, and I think I'll still stick with it, is like the handheld 3DSs. Those there are some very difficult repairs, like the top screen, like Rob mentioned earlier, but overall they're usually somewhat inexpensive to get into and kind of, somewhat cheap and easy to learn. So I think that's what I would go with. But again, whatever you or your friends have laying around is a great place to start.
That was my first as well here. The first thing I successfully did any level of repair on was a 3DS XL.
Yep.
Still have it. It was my first. It's like Scrooge McDuck's number one dime. Put it in a plaque. First thing I fixed.
Yeah. All right. What next?
This one is another one for all of us. We've been finding some good ones for all four of us this stream. This person asked, what editing programs do all four of you use?
And I'll let you guys take this one.
Um,
Oh, because
I'll
you
go
don't
first.
do your own editing now.
I do
You-
some.
You do a little bit. Okay. Okay.
For me, I guess I use Premiere Pro to edit stuff for Facebook, and then I use Illustrator to do most of the shop designs, and then I'll use Photoshop occasionally for like drawing, like for the desk mat designs. I think that's it. I just use the Adobe programs.
Yep.
I
We're pretty-
just use Premiere Pro.
Yep, we are an Adobe team. I use Premiere Pro as well for video editing, and then Photoshop for thumbnails and stuff like that.
Yep, and I use Premiere Pro as well when I need to do some editing. My editor also uses Premiere Pro. So yeah, we're an Adobe team, like Jessica said.
And you have a contract editor. You're
Mhm.
someone who's not part of this team of 4 right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice to use the same programs because we occasionally will send files back and forth, like especially Premiere Pro files. So it's nice to have that flow.
Yep. Yeah, that works nicely for us.
Let's see. This one's for Steve. What video of yours did, I'm guessing they meant to say not very well on YouTube, but you don't really know why.
Yeah, that could go either way.
It could just be
could
very.
be.
Or it could be either way, yeah.
Okay, so I got to think about this. So, okay, I'll answer both if I can think of it. Okay, so firstly, my videos that did amazingly well and kind of originally made my channel sort of blow up at the time were videos where I bought, for example, 8 broken Nintendo Switches and tried to fix them. That sort of video, I mean, it's obvious now that that's a great kind of video, but back then I don't know of anyone that had done it. And before I posted that video, I was like, I'm pretty sure this video is going to bomb. I think I don't even want to post it. But I did anyway. And obviously, like I said, that kind of made my channel sort of take off pretty well.
And I think that's kind of mostly what you're known for now. Is
Yeah, I think so.
I have 13 of these things. I mean, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a video style that has not done well, and I think I mostly know why, but we talked about it a little bit earlier, is I did a video on a durability pet test on the PlayStation 4. That video did not do well. And I mean, I think I mostly know why. Like, most of my audience comes to watch me fix things, not break things. So I think that's most of the reason. But I'm still kind of bummed out that I can't really do those types of videos, because I think it would be fun to try various different tests on like the PlayStation 5 and whatever. So I don't know. Those are my two answers of the question. Both ways.
Of yours is an April Fool's video that you made.
That's another one.
Yeah, it's a video where you intentionally used made up jargon and how you talked about fixing the flux capacitor and you hit it with a hammer and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That video bombed. It hardly has any views. People just didn't appreciate it. Yeah.
No, that's another one that I'm still disappointed that it didn't do well. Firstly, because it took forever to find all the jargon and whatever. Yeah. But secondly, because like now I'm like, I don't really want to do another April Fool's video because that's not what people are here for. Yeah. So yeah.
Anyway. I want to do an April Fool's video and you won't let me. The April Fool's videos don't work, man. Hey, you have to understand this audience does not have a sense of humor. Don't. Yeah. Okay.
For the record, and this is on live video, I am good with you doing an April Fool's video. It just better be really good. Okay. And it better get a ton of views.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I want to jump in here and say there are people in the chat saying that they loved the April Fool's video. I also saw at least one person comment that they loved the cornbread switch video. So there are people that love them.
I liked it. I liked it too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there definitely is. I mean, obviously, there's a subset of our audiences that do like them. It's
hard not to overhear the people who don't like something,
Yeah.
Because you just get a lot of those comments. They're the ones who are willing to speak up and are going to say something. And there are people who say positive comments too and speak up. But
yeah. And for me also, like I take views into account a lot when I'm kind of like thinking of what content I want to make more of. And, you know, when I have videos that get several million views and then a video that gets 80,000 views, it's like, what should I make more of? You know, like it's pretty easy decision. So
I also noticed we have Shane Fix in the chat, so shout out to Shane Fix. And his thought was maybe April Fool videos. There's too many of them that time of year. It sounds like he's suggesting maybe do April Fool's video different time of year. I don't know, maybe
November Fools.
We should just start doing November Fools videos.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
November Fools.
That's great. Yeah. Also, Shane Fix, thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
Thanks for modding. We very much appreciate it. And if you have a broken PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series X, and you're in the United States, send it to Shane Fix because he'll probably be able to fix it for you. All right, next question. What do we got?
This one's kind of fun. Favorite weird food combinations for all of us.
Robert, I feel like you have a really weird combination.
No, everything I eat is super normal.
Yeah, right.
Approved. My kids have a bunch of them.
Oh, that works.
You know what their favorite sandwich is?
What?
Turkey and Nutella.
That's wrong.
Both of them swear by it.
No,
I won't
can't
even try
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's crazy.
Not worth it.
Oh, man.
Jessica, I know you have weird food combinations.
I can't eat any of mine anymore, but when I was a kid, I loved eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with Cheetos in them. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend. Fantastic.
We used to do that with Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
Like nacho cheese Doritos. Mm-hmm.
In PB&J?
Really yeah, and that's really good in PB&J, yes.
Yep.
I'm for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure I'm on board with chips and PB&Js. I'll eat them in other sandwiches, but PB&J ones just, I don't know. I don't think that'd do it for me. Kirsten, do you have weird food combinations?
Yeah, I was trying to think of one, and then I remembered when I was younger, my family used to do mac and cheese plus like a can of chili. So chili mac.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like people consider that weird, but I feel like it's not typical. But it's really good.
That sounds interesting. I've seen that. I've never had it before. I think my I don't know if it's not that weird. I don't eat a lot of food that's that weird, but Jessica and I will eat tomato and onion sandwiches, bread, mayonnaise, tomatoes, onions, and that's it. And it's pretty tasty. I think it's kind of weird.
Wow, there's some weird things I'm seeing in here.
I know. I'm just looking at chat too, and I'm not very hungry anymore.
Freezer pepperoni pizza dipped in orange juice. I saw.
What is wrong with you people? Nutella, everything bagels, Applewood bacon.
That's kind of in the same family as the turkey sandwich with Nutella in it, I guess.
Yeah.
I like somebody said weird food doesn't exist in 2024, or weird in general.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm good at messing myself up with normal stuff. So.
Yeah, basically all of us have issues with different sorts of food, except for Kirsten. You don't really have too many, right? I feel like the rest of us have a lot more.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Thought about taking another allergy test, but I'm scared.
It was super fun when we all got together in person trying to come up with a menu with all of the limitations.
Yeah.
Kirsten was easy, but the rest of us all have some very specific things.
Drank a lot of water. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do one or two more questions. We've been going for about an hour and a half. So what do you guys want to do? One or two more?
Yep.
Three more? Somewhere in there?
1 or 2 or 3.
Okay. We're going to pick the best questions of the day right now.
Pressure.
No pressure.
Let's see. I did see one. This one says, what's the weirdest thing you found inside of a console? I found $4 rolled up in an NES and random change inside of one.
That's amazing. I don't know that I have a weirdest thing. I've found a ton of stuff in consoles, though. Money, Random cards, bugs. I don't know. I have a weirdest. Like, there's just, I mean, probably the weirdest, at least for me, maybe, was like almost an entire colony of ants. That was pretty weird. I'm used to cockroaches, just not ants. So
Yeah, I haven't found anything that I would classify as weird yet. Although I have seen in our Discord, there was some conversation about things people were finding in consoles, and there's some weird stuff people find in consoles. But I've been lucky or unlucky. I don't know.
yeah,
Pretty normal,
lucky
you
or
know,
unlucky. Yeah, either way.
spider webs and cockroaches and just
Yeah.
the normal things.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Is this next one going to be the last?
Let's do two more.
Okay. This one's for all of us again. What is a game that you really enjoy but you think is underrated?
Oh, easy answer. The game I'm playing right now, Octopath Traveler 2. Excellent. Well made, great soundtrack. Really good improvements on the original Octopath Traveler game, but it just kind of was invisible. At least compared to, it just didn't get any conversation really the year that it came out for. I think it didn't get a lot of love. And it's just, I think, a super well-made JRPG.
I can't think of a game that I enjoy that's underrated. Like I've never been super into gaming, and when I do play games, they're like popular games, like Zelda games or Mario Kart or whatever, and those are usually pretty well rated. So I don't have a satisfying answer. I'm sorry.
You can go, Jessica. I gotta look mine up. Make sure it's the right name.
I feel like my answer is similar to Steve's. Like, I'm mostly playing pretty run-of-the-mill games, and when I have time. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like this question's good for like indie games. If you're an indie gamer. I haven't really explored a whole lot into indie games, but there's a few that I've seen. And I think one that's really cool that I don't think a whole lot of people know about is called Later Alligator. And it's a really cute game. You're just alligators trying to solve a mystery, and the music is really great. So
That sounds awesome.
yeah, definitely look it up if you haven't seen it.
Nice.
That is something I would like to do more, is play more indie games. I know there are a ton of good ones out there, but yeah. Just have to have the time and then choose from all of the good ones out there.
Yeah.
So many.
All right, let's do one more official question. Then after that, I want to look through the chat and I'll see if there's any quick questions I can answer. You guys can do that too, I guess. We just kind of look through chat real quick. So, all right.
This one says, do you like repairing water damaged consoles?
That 100% depends on how water damaged. If it's like there's, a couple areas that are water damaged but totally fixable, yeah, mostly. But if you guys watched my last video, the 20 broken game consoles, you saw me open that Xbox Series S up, and it's just like the entire board is just all different colors from corrosion and whatever. And like those just aren't, and even in that video, I didn't even try. It's just like there's no point, because even if you could get really lucky and actually fix it, there's just so much damage and probably continuing corrosion that it likely wouldn't stay fixed very long. So it depends. Sometimes yes, a lot of times no. Yeah. So anyway, that's my answer to that. All right. I'm going to look through chat and just see if there's any quick questions or comments I want to respond to, and you guys can feel free to do the same. Feel free to keep chatting and I'll call out anything I see. Let's see. Would you consider doing a fixing every Nintendo console video? Yes, definitely. That I would probably split it up though into like bigger consoles and handhelds, just because that would be a super long video. I would love to do both of those though. That would be super fun. The next one of those I'm going to do is probably fixing every Xbox, and then maybe Nintendo after that. That'd be a good cleaning one too, if we could find enough really dirty stuff.
One of the things that we're kind of a little bit curious on with Restorish is to see if those kinds of videos would do well.
Yeah.
Of, we got where I do multiple things, kind of like what you did, where you discovered that there was an audience for people when you were like, I got these 8 things and I tried to fix them and whatnot, to see if that translates to Restorish, to see if,
Yeah.
So we've done like stacks of games as a couple things lately, but we've also thought about doing, I recently did all the colors of the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Things like that. We haven't done enough of them to find out whether or not that works with Restorish.
Yeah.
But it's something we're considering also.
Yeah. Yeah. Any plans on making any more DK Oldies videos? Yeah, of course. Those are always fun. Actually, I can't tell you my next video, because just in the off chance they see this video, they'll know my plan. But I've got a secret plan for my next one. It's going to be great. And more. Are you guys ready for another GameStop video? Need to check out their stuff and see if they're doing anything better yet. Okay. Do you guys see anything else you want to respond to?
I wanted to read this one. I don't know if Robert saw it earlier, but I thought it was cool. They said, honestly, Robert's voice is very calming, and I use his videos for one of my kiddos at bedtime. So this must have been when we were asking what other stuff they wanted. So they said more cozy stuff with soothing background music.
Yes. Thank you. I love that. I appreciate that. I received a comment like 3 weeks ago, and I mean, you get negative comments, and we talk about this. Steve is my therapist in this sense, and he'll talk to me about how to deal with the negative comments sometimes and not like internalizing it too much. But I got a comment like 3 weeks ago or so that simply said yawn. It's just a comment on one of my videos with the word yawn. And I stewed on that all weekend, and I came into work, and even the next video project I was working on, I redid my vocal work, trying to make it more exciting and more hype and just bring more energy, feeling like, well, is that how people feel? Am I too boring? Am I too, and kind of, I started doing it. And I remember texting Steve and just being like, I'm done. This sounds inauthentic. It's not me. It's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
People can, if they don't like the chill vibe I'm trying to view or trying to bring, they can go step on a Lego.
Exactly.
I want to bring stuff that is relaxing and chill. And so anyone who tells me like, hey, I appreciate that your stuff is relaxing and you could fall asleep to it. Actually, I like that. That's what I'm trying to go for.
So anyone in chat who's tired of any of us talking, just type in the chat, yawn.
Yeah, it's going to happen right now.
That's hilarious. On another note, I had someone, maybe this was.
There it is. Thanks.
Thanks,
Phil. Appreciate it.
There was somebody recently that commented on one of my videos that was saying they want me to, when I'm using the multimeter, to turn the beep down because they use my videos to go to sleep to, and they wanted to just like that interrupts them when they're trying to sleep. So I was like, that's interesting. I'll consider that. And I've got a number of comments like that from people that are like, yeah, you're really relaxing. I find you relaxing to go to sleep to or whatever.
And you bring more energy than I do. Like
especially at the beginning. Yeah. Yawn.
I just got a text from our son, who is apparently watching, and his text was yawn.
What a punk. All right. I think we're all about ready to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys very much for showing up on this Sunday, and let us know in the chat or YouTube comments if Sundays at this time at 1:30 Pacific time works well for you guys. We're kind of trying to figure out a good time to do kind of more regular live streams. So let us know. Also, let us know if there's any segments you want to see us try. We've got a bunch of ideas, but we're not sure which ones we should try. I think a food one would definitely be good, but also we kind of need to do that when we're all here.
Yeah.
Although you and I could do it. That would work. Anyway.
You can eat all the bread.
I'm not eating any bread from you if I don't know the package it came out of.
We just had a super chat if you're cool with me throwing that up
Yeah, might as well.
on the screen. Super chat from Matt.
Matt, thank you for the super chat. There we go. As someone that works second shift and has trouble sleeping, Restorish vids put me to sleep in the best way. Look at that, dude.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate
I legitimately feel like I'm bringing something good into the world with a comment like that. So. Because I have my own content that I fall asleep to, that I find specifically people whose voices work that way for me, and they intentionally try to keep like loud sudden noises out of their video. Like anytime I have something loud in my video, I turn that volume on that stuff down.
Yeah.
Because I'm always thinking of the person who is using this to try to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I love it. So good.
Yeah.
I feel good today.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for upping Robert's spirits today.
Yes.
And also, thank you, the coder, for your super chat. Buy candy for Tronics. That's one of the last things he needs is more candy. That kid, I tell you. Just kidding, Seth. All right. I think it's about time for us to call it a day. Anything you guys want to add? Kirsten, Jessica, Rob?
No, just look forward to doing it again the next time. And if you have ideas for this, come into our Discord.
Yeah,
talk with us.
totally.
Talk with us about what we could do in the future in Discord.
Yep. And I think Kirsten's even going to make a separate channel for talking about Discord, if I remember right. So,
yes, yeah, we'll have one for talking about
live streams. Sorry, my bad.
We'll have a live stream chat channel to discuss like ideas, or if we have a live stream, then people could chat in there if they want. But yeah, join the Discord. We do fun stuff on there. There's lots of people to talk to, so yeah, it's a great place.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks again for showing up, guys. We're going to head out, and you guys have a good one.
Bye.